today we have a interesting subject we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a union, the marriage union. And when we think of the marriage union, it's a very close union between a husband and a wife. But what if one of the partners has is in a religion that you're not in, and you do a little research about the religion online, and you find out perhaps it's not a good religion, perhaps it's a cult, and sometimes we find ourselves in these situations, and we wonder, okay, what do we do next? How do we get our partner to look at this when they're in the religion and they believe that it's the truth? And you see, that's the thing with the Jehovah's Witness religion. It's like that. And if you're in it, you're in the truth, and there's no reason to look anywhere else. But, anyways, let's listen to our caller tonight, and then we'll have a little bit more in depth discussion on what a person could do. So, here's caller number one. We're only going to have the one tonight, and we'll listen in on the problem, and then we'll talk about it. Here it is. Go ahead.
Hello. I'm married to a JW. How do I get my wife to look at the XJW sites to help her see the truth about the religion?
Okay. So this is a common thing. We see it all the time, and it can happen in various ways. Typically, Jehovah's Witnesses marry in the truth, they call it, or in the religion. So both parties are in the religion. But sometimes, when Jehovah's Witnesses call at the doors, they contact people, and they get a study going, perhaps with the wife. The husband's at work, so they come every day for a year and have a study with the wife. And pretty soon, the wife believes that she's in the truth, and she's going to the meetings, and pretty soon she's out in the ministry. So this can be disconcerting for the husband, because the husband really knows nothing about it, and goes online, does a little bit of research, and finds out, wow, it's might not be what they think it is. And this could be for any religion, Mormon, Seventh Day Adventist, any of the cultish type religions out there. And so this is a common dilemma. Some of the other situations are that a person is in the religion, kind of fades away, falls out of it for a bit, perhaps even gets disassociated, disfellowshipped, marries outside of the religion, and then returns to the religion. This is very common. And then when they return to the religion, the spouse, whether male or female, is left outside and kind of, I don't want to go to that religion. I didn't really marry to be part of it. So it's disconcerting. So when we have two people in a marriage union and one person is into something and the other person's not, and not on board, how do you deal with that? Because eventually this will put a strain on the marriage, and it will break the marriage down. And a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses marriage fall apart because of this very, very reason. And they're so strict about how they view being unevenly yoked when it comes to marriage. So there's a lot of pressure on persons in the religion when their spouse is not in the religion. There's a lot of pressure that way, is from both ends. So the religion, does it help? I don't know. So what I would suggest to do is, and this is just my opinion, because the marriage is a really sacred arrangement. So we want to protect the marriage and the love that goes with the marriage, because the love is what undoes all of the hate that goes around us in the world. So we find this love and union in our marriage. Now, I think of the golden rule, and let's talk about perhaps what your wife is into, the religion. There's a lot worse things to be into than the JW religion. I was in it for 30 years, and they talk about being a good wife, a good husband. There's a lot of counsel that way. So it's a very good religion that way. Some of the downfalls with the culty part of it, or it comes from Rutherford, is no Christmas, no birthdays, all of these things which is not Bible backed, and it puts a strain on a typical family that you perhaps celebrated Christmases and birthdays. So there's lots of strains that you'll find, but here's one way to deal with it. I think of the golden rule: do unto others as you'd want them to do to you. So let's say you were in that religion. What would be the fair thing? I would kind of make a deal and say, look, I'll study to be in the religion, because Jehovah's Witnesses want more people to study. So educate yourself outside with the XJW Society, and you know all about what's right and what's wrong. And you can learn a lot about the Bible either way. But if you accept the study, and the first thing that you'll want to recognize is the word truth. And if you go to John 14:6, and I have some videos on that, John 14:6, it talks about Jesus being the truth. And then in John 8:32, it talks about the truth will set you free. So the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that their religion will set you free. But really, that scripture is talking about Jesus' blood setting you free. The truth, Jesus, is setting you free, his shed blood. So I'm not sure if that's deep for someone new, but that's one of the biggest points I think you can start with to break apart that religion. And I would make the golden rule, I would set up the golden rule with your wife in such a state that you have a study with the JWs, and then she privately, and keep the study conductor, the guy that comes over to study with you, the brother they call him, keep him out of this. This is between you and your wife. And you make the golden rule, the deal, and you have a study, and then she has to have a sit down with you and watch one of the videos online, the XJW videos. Start with the truth. That's what I recommend. And see what happens. And if you use the golden rule, and if you use Bible principles, Jehovah's Witnesses are logical. They will, and they want to help people with studies. So is it a trap? Well, it shouldn't be, because if your wife has the truth, she should have nothing to worry about. So she should be able to come online, and you're willing to look at their religion. So I think that's a good deal. And now then it takes away the unknown for you. You get to know a little bit more about what the religion is. You could go to the Kingdom Hall, sit in and listen to a meeting. It's not going to kill you. And you come home and you can go onto the XJW site and you can learn all about different things. It's a very subtle religion, but they play with words and they twist different things, like the word truth. And then they take ownership out of it. And it was a Rutherford trick way back in 1919. And they refer to that date a lot, 1919. Like they love this guy, Rutherford. They don't use his name a lot, but they love the date 1919. And so if they love that date, they love the guy that invented the date, Rutherford. He's really the grandfather of this cult that we see today, this modern day cult. Russell started it, sure enough, but Rutherford kicked all of Russell's ideas out by 1927. So it is a Rutherford religion, pretty much. It's a Rutherford trance. So that's what I have to say about the religion. It's quite the situation, but a lot of people are in that situation, and you can make it work. And you can eventually help your wife to wake up, whatever the situation, whether she's second, third generation JW or new, you can help people wake up. And I think it's good just to use the golden rule, use the Bible, and that's how I would do it. So that's all I have to say tonight, guys. And guys and gals and everyone out there listening, and we invite you to send in your questions, and you can send them in on Twitter, you can send them in right on this channel. You can just put a question in, and we can take a look at it through our JW Night Talk. So thanks again, and until next time, live your life with love. Bye for now.